Hi, this is Attorney Doug Jones. Thanks for joining in today. This is the last part of the Sam and Sally's series. Some of you may have watched the earlier videos in the series. If you missed some of them, you can go back and watch them at your leisure. We've got them linked together here on this YouTube channel where we talk about Sam and Sally's planning, what they did to plan. And actually, they're in the elite. We've learned, if you've watched some of the earlier videos, that some of the recent statistics we've seen says anywhere between 50 to 70% of the people have done no planning at all. At least they had a last will and testament. So that puts them in the top 30%, if you want to believe the top end of the figures out there. At least they had a will. And then, as we saw, Sam started declining and Sally became his primary and only caregiver. They'd been married for over 50 years. So she was the natural choice. And it was like two spouses leaning against each other. One had the mind, one had the body. Sam started losing his cognitive ability. He had mid-level dementia. Sally had some physical issues, but she was cognitively clear, so she was the caregiver. And toward the later years and months of Sam's life, it started taking a toll on her. And Sally's doctor told her, Sally, unless you get some help, you're going to die first. So what we wanted to cover today is what could Sam and Sally have done differently or better with their planning. Obviously, they could not control what would happen to them in the future health-wise. Sam couldn't just hope he didn't get dementia or wish it away. Sally couldn't wish away her physical issues. Later on in life, she had heart issues, and the stress of caring for Sam exacerbated her heart condition. So there was nothing they could do to have prevented that. But what they could have done was the type of planning where they made decisions about their future care and could have said what they wanted in the event some of these bad things did happen. A lot of times when we meet with the adult kids, one of the things I hear most often is, Mom and Dad and I never talked about this. We really don't know what type of care that they would want. We don't know if they would want to remain at home with caregivers coming in, or if they need to be in an assisted living facility, or maybe even a nursing home in severe situations. We don't know how they would want it paid, if they'd want to protect their assets, so the liquid assets or their fixed assets, or try to get on Medicaid. A lot of things we don't know. So today we're going to be talking about a few of these decisions that you could make up front. And if you saw our prior videos, we talked about hamburger planning versus hamburger deluxe planning, real basic versus something more involved. And when we do hamburger deluxe planning, we do something called a care journey plan. And some of the decisions you would make in this are outlined here. Who do you want making decisions for you? Not just who do you want distributing assets at your death, but who do you want making decisions about your care, about where you would be, about what type of care you would want, about if you are in a facility, what type of care you get there, and what is needed. Who would you want serving as your advocate to check on you and to make sure you're getting what you want? Sometimes one of the kids manages your money or makes legal decisions for you, but you may also have an advocate, which is someone that just physically checks on you to make sure you're okay, to make sure that you are getting the care that you want and need. We see so many people that have no one checking on them, and it is a sad situation. You need someone checking on you, especially if you've lost your cognitive ability to make decisions for yourself. So, number one, who makes decisions for you? Two, where would you be? The BPB is the best place to be. Best place to be is not always at your home. As we've seen, there are various choices. Home is definitely one choice, but in the latter months and years of your life where you're needing more and more care, the front door of your home may be like a revolving door with caregivers and therapists and medical equipment suppliers and all sort of people coming in and out on a daily basis. Many times you're just trying to replicate a nursing home level of care at home, and sometimes people say, this is just too much. I don't want all of this in my home. I'd rather just be somewhere where the care can be provided, and that removes some stress from your shoulders, from the well spouse's shoulders and from your kids' shoulders. So you can be somewhere where you needed care is provided. And yes, you still need an advocate to check on you and make sure you're getting everything you want. But all that falls within the what decision. What type of care do you want and where do you want to be? Number 3, when do you want to transition to another level of care? And you may say, when I need it, but you need to be a little more specific. If you may say in your care journey plan, for example, as long as I'm clear, or as long as I have the cognitive ability to reason for myself, or you may say, as long as I can function, and you describe what level of function is acceptable to you to remain at home, as long as I can walk, as long as I can make decisions, I want to be at home. And this requires a little bit of thought about what you would want and when, at what point in time you would want to transition to another level of care. And finally, how to pay. In our prior videos, we talked about the 4 planning buckets, whether you would pay cash or whether you would pay for care out of pre-tax money or whether you would pay with fixed assets or whether you would try to qualify for Medicaid. And we told you the story of Sam and Sally, how Sam went to a nursing home and Sally spent all of their money for Sam's care and then even took out a home equity loan on their home to pay for his care and wound up with nothing, wound up being 78 years old, broke and deep in debt, and it didn't have to be that way. With some planning, she could have protected most of those assets for her care, and Sam still could have got the care he needed in a long-term care facility. So these are some of the decisions you would make with what we call hamburger deluxe planning, with a care journey type of plan that would be incorporated many times within your revocable living trust, or your trust would work with your care journey plan. These are instructions to your trustee and to your advocate as to what you would want if you are incapacitated and you can't make decisions for yourself. These are very important decisions, and like I said on the top end, they're often overlooked decisions. If we can help you with your planning process, please give us a call. Thanks for watching and have a great day.